We got a busy one today, guys, and we needed every piece of equipment to get it done. I think everything we have here is getting used today. We've got a lot to do, so let's actually just get straight to the point and show you what we're up against. So we need to make this disappear more than anything. This is some 1.5 car garage. They don't need it anymore, so they just want this to be a nice flat spot on the property. We need to make this disappear, the garden included, and this little hen house is what I like to call it. It needs to go away as well. We've got the brush hog out here because we need to actually clear the brush around the properties that are staying, or the structures that are staying. There is some kind of structure back here. It needs to disappear. I'd call it maybe like an outhouse or even a dog house of sorts. It needs to go. Pole barn itself stays. Unfortunately, I don't get to keep the tractor, but everything inside of here needs to go. I believe a tenant lived here and they basically use this as their own little trash bin. Family calls this a summer kitchen. It has a little bit of stuff inside of it, but it's about to fall in on itself. It needs to go. I bet this thing used to be kind of cute, but it's not really savable anymore, so it needs to go. We need to make sure that we actually cut it away from the house because somehow it is tied in for whatever reason. I think there used to be a little roof right here. We need to make sure we separate that before we tear it down. It looks like we've got a burn pile with a little bit of metal we'll sort through, and you can't see it through these trees, but there's something pretty big back there we got to get rid of too. Some more brush that needs to disappear. Swing set needs to disappear. We've got all this brush here, and believe it or not, there's a porch under all this brush. It needs to go too. The family said, get rid of everything but the house. We're gonna get Keegan's dumpster staged over here. We're gonna get it in here. I'm gonna get my dumpster over here staged. Just got a little bit of stuff in it, but it was so empty, I think we can use it here. And then from there, I'm gonna send Keegan down the road. He needs to go get me a couple more dumpsters, and we need to start filling them. Here we go, baby. Go get me another one.
Got it.
So before we tear down this first garage, we need to be able to see what we're doing because it's so overgrown with brush. Oh yeah. Let's fire this bad boy up, get rid of all this crap. When using a brush hog in farmland that you're not familiar with, you gotta be careful. I mean, it's really easy to catch stuff that's hidden in brush like this. That's why you kind of start a little high and then work your way down. I mean, look, did not see that tire at all. Luckily, it doesn't look like we really grabbed it. Looks like we might have just pushed it with the skid itself, but that could have been bad. Let's get my favorite piece of machinery unhooked from the trailer. It's not going to take anything to make this thing collapse. Down goes Frazier. So I'm going to do my best here to just sit in one spot, separate the metal from the roof, while also taking all that wood and debris and just dropping it straight into the dumpster without making a mess around me. I'm hiding now. Thank God for the cabbage machine because I have made a lot of people mad. By people, I mean these wasps. They are ticked, and there's a lot of them. Obviously there must have been a nest in there. I hate wasps. Okay, so we're gonna jump from this machine to the next machine as quickly as we can. That must have been a huge nest. Okay, go. Ah! 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 Ah, come on, come on, come on! Oh, trapped with all the mosquitoes though. Better than the wasps. Need to go ahead and swap attachments. I do have to hook up the hydraulic lines Maybe I'll take it to the other side of the house real quick and do that. Am I being a little bit of a baby? Yeah. But I'm in the middle of nowhere. I'm gonna be here all day. The last thing I want is to get stung a bunch of times and then have to work like that. I want to be comfortable in this machine. On a lot of our demo jobs, I don't usually justify bringing both the Mini and the skid steer, but on this one, I believe it was big enough and it was totally worth it because I can pick up all these big scoops with the skid steer and then turn around, jump into the Mini, and then crunch up that dumpster to use all the space we can. Okay, so that shed took up most of that dumpster's room, but we got all this carpet over here. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna top off the dumpster with all the carpet that was sitting up against the house. I'm sure this has a nice smell to it. So we're gonna get this one out of the way and we're gonna get a new one in place. Not too bad, she doesn't sound too heavy. Keegan getting my next dumpster in place. We'll see how this works out. It's central to everything. We got the little house over there. We got our little surprise back there. Everything in that barn we still need to clean out. Summer kitchen, and then we got that other dumpster over there too. So we got a lot to work with. You come on back now, you hear? I will. Okay, let's move on with our journey here. I think what we're gonna tackle now is this bad boy. Before we go in with the brush mower, we're gonna get these out because that would be a terrible thing to catch. Oh, that's cool. Let's take this over to the area we already cleaned. I'm sure some of you guys are watching this going, Clayton, why don't you just go ahead and do all the brush mowing first and then come in and start tearing down these places? Well, yeah, that probably would honestly be the more efficient way to do it. But something in my mind, I just want to be able to do one at a time so I can check box like a whole area on this property. You know, I know this one's done, I know the other one's done, and then I can just kind of move from one end of the property to the other without feeling like I'm doubling back to stuff. So that's kind of my philosophy right now. We're just chipping away at this one section at a time. Let's collapse it. The one thing we don't want is a debris field carrying this from one dumpster to the next. But yeah, if we just take the walls maybe, shouldn't be too bad at all. Gotta watch some power lines on this side, but we were able to get this over here without dropping anything. That's awesome. Probably should have taken just a couple extra minutes to bring a dumpster closer to here so I wasn't driving across the ground. But luckily, it held it together way better than I expected. So after I grabbed it all with the Mini, I came back with the skid, got the last couple pieces, and then raked out the ground so there was nothing left but the dirt. Okay, if we time this right, I should be able to get this loaded and Keegan in this into the landfill in time to empty one more. Get this pumped up for, oh! Hey, dude.
Get it pumped up?
Yep, dude, all right. That one emptied all right? All right, good deal. All right, get this thing pumped, get on the road. Okay, one more dumpster out of the way. We can move on to filling the next one. There's nothing about this job that is necessarily scary, but one thing is we are in the middle of nowhere. So if I break something, run out of fuel, I'm screwed. So I had to think of everything today, had to pack everything. One thing I totally forgot to do was pack some food. Thankfully, Keegan brought me this delicious, nutritious deli sandwich from a gas station. The other thing is we are fitting this in between all of our other dumpsters, and it is kind of the busy time of year. I knew we weren't going to be able to get all of them emptied by any means. The goal was to get at least 2 emptied because we're on a time crunch. At 3:30, you are not allowed on the scales of the landfill anymore. So we're also 45 minutes from any landfill at this job site. And the shop is another 30 minutes away. So Keegan and I are hustling today. I think this is the first thing I've eaten all day. We also need to give a shout out to our sponsor, Docket. Thanks to them, we're able to do projects like this while also staying on top of everything in the dumpster business. With them, we're able to have our online booking, our processing, and keeping track of customer information is essential. It keeps everything running smoothly and keeps people like Keegan on task, even when I'm not around. So if you're looking for a way to streamline your dumpster business, give Docket a try. You can actually use the link in the description below to take a look at a free demo. And if you decide to use them, they'll waive your startup fees. It's the easiest way to take your business from what it is to what it could be. Ow. I'll tell you what, this little summer kitchen or whatever they call it, that one surprised me. We just filled this dumpster. Definitely wasn't what I expected. But once I tore into it, I wasn't as surprised because there's about 3 layers of everything. 3 layers of roofing, and I'm not talking just the roof, the actual structure itself. We had 3 sets of walls, and then below all of it, you got that good timber. You know, this isn't what some of the new houses are built out of, or garages or sheds, anything really. I'm gonna go ahead and pick up these scraps that are on the base. That way I can get it loaded, and then we'll come back tomorrow and get all the remainder into the next dumpster. You know, using my dumpster as a locker to store several $1,000s worth of tools. What's the worst that could happen? What could possibly happen? I'm gonna go hang out with the wife and the kiddo, and we will see what tomorrow brings. I'm sure it's gonna be a lot of work regardless. Good deal. Let's get working. Let's figure out what's back here. I know we got something, not quite sure what yet. What treasures lie beneath? Okay, let's tip this bad boy over. I don't think it's gonna take much of anything. Look at that. Tear that roof off. To the metal pile. I think we could use this to finish the job. I don't think it's working. Yeah, I like mine better. Okay, so Keegan just rolled up and we got all of that over there by the old outhouse packed in the dumpster. So what I'm gonna do now is load up some of this nasty burn pile. Woo! There's a little bit left that I scraped up but I don't want to go overloading it because we know that burn pile is going to be heavy. We can also take a peek at what's back here now that you can see it. Yep, scrapper's dream right there. Big old silo. Well, actually, it's a pretty tiny silo, but we're going to get rid of that as well. We're going to have 1 or 2 loads that are going to be purely, you know, cement blocks or concrete, and a couple that are probably going to be purely metal. Getting this one out of here for me. Off to the dump. We're getting the last bit of this burn pile in this dumpster, and we can move on to the next thing. There was an incredible amount of crap in here. They burned everything. I can promise you, these people never rented a dumpster. So I'm gonna move on to the barn. The only downside of this is everything I've worked on so far has been quite a bit of machine work. So I've had that luxury, but in here, since we're saving the structure, I have a feeling I'm gonna be getting in and out of the machine a lot to get some of this stuff loaded without bumping into the walls. Let's make sure we can see the whole darn thing. Well, you might have heard them working in the background, but having a second operator has been awesome, and you wouldn't believe who it is. If you follow the channel, you've met him, but Sully, he's only 12 years old. It's the last week before school. How you doing, dude? Yeah, not gonna say anything. But if there's anybody I trust with this skid steer, it's him. I mean, seriously, this kid's living my dream at his age. He's taking his time, but you gotta give kids like this a chance to learn. He reached out to me last night and said, hey, it's the last week before school starts. You got anything you need help with? This is the best learning area he could be in because, well, there's a lot of open space. I'm not afraid he can hurt anything here, and if he did, I'd be able to pay for it. This is what it's about. 12 years old, all he's thinking about is his first truck and go-karts. That's what he cares about. So he's gonna get paid today. I'm trying to convince him that his first car should actually be an old, you know, F600 or C60 that we put a new motor in. He'd be the coolest kid in school, I'm telling you. We'll see. He likes the idea. He's just gotta save the money. Well, I did say this could happen. It's never easy. It definitely wasn't the only thing in here. There is a couple things. Dang. Not cool. Oh, man. Okay, well, we got most of it. We'll have to fix the rest later. I think she'll spin. If I had to guess, some of that's been in there a while. All right, we're back in business. I am really looking forward to seeing how much scrap we can get out of this. We'll save that for a little later. Let's go work on the garage now. Wait. You don't care about this. There's nothing exciting that happens here. Let me break it down to you how it went. Terrible. So much hand labor. We couldn't get our machine all the way in on one side, so... Oh, the transformation's incredible, but it was definitely the most amount of work and the most time-consuming thing yet. I'm not even sure if I showed you this side of the shed, but it was rough. There was just stuff everywhere. She swept is about as clean as it can be. And then over here, all we got left is a stack of tires on the other side of the skid. But all those cans and all that lumber, it's gone. Can't imagine what that bill is going to be to get rid of these though. I still got more somewhere else too. As hard as this one is, or as exhausting as this one is, I wouldn't trade it for anything. I love what I do. But this is day 2 in the books. I'm dying. It's 90 degrees. I made a massive mistake. I'm only bringing 1 water bottle. So I'm cooked. I'm starting to cramp in places I didn't even know possible. I'm going to feel this one tomorrow. I absolutely know it. So hopefully we spend a little bit more time in the machine, tear down that silo, and start packing up. I love this job. Okay, y'all, we're back. But do you remember when I said this? I made a massive mistake. I'm only bringing one water bottle. That stubbornness will get you. Not my brightest move. That landed me here. Get the machine in there all the way, so we had to do a lot of handwork. Videotaping. So long story short, I got severely dehydrated. My kidney function dropped below 30%. If you know anything about kidneys, you need them. And at 30%, they're not doing much. It took 6 bags of IVs to get me back to normal and an overnight stay in the hospital, all because I was working too hard. And this was probably because of a few weeks of work, and this one was really just the one that did me in. Note to self, pack multiple bottles of water. It's important. On a serious note, I really need to apologize to my family because I put them in a terrible position. Once I stepped out of that truck, a light switch went off in my body. I was fine until then, but after that, all of a sudden my legs cramped up. I couldn't move. I called my wife and asked her to come bring me a bottle of water. She found me in my driveway. I could not move. My stomach was cramping, and all of a sudden I started to feel really weird, like hallucinating, and I couldn't see the details on my wife's face anymore because my eyes and my vision were just going bad. So at that point, I knew something was really wrong, and I originally just wanted to take a shower and clean up, but my wife insisted to take us to the hospital, and it only got worse from there. Once we got to the hospital, they could not get my temperature, they could not get my blood pressure, they could not get any blood out of me at all, and it took them a little bit to get the IVs in. And like I said, it took 6 bags and some pain meds just so my muscles would relax because they had been locked that entire time. It is not fair to my family that I put them through that, and it was actually a little scary for them, and I'm sure it was. But we need to take care of our bodies, and I'm telling you that as well. Ain't no amount of money worth it, I promise you. But enough about all that. This is the part that I have been waiting for the longest. Saved it for the end because I thought it would be the most exciting. Oh, this thing's gonna crumble. Timber! I think we have a nice little taco here. It's almost all of it. That's hilarious. Very surprised I was able to hold it all together in one piece. Squish it all in this little dumpster. Look at this pile of metal from this job. It's huge. Probably gonna take us 2 trips. There we go. Believe it or not, we got it all loaded onto one dumpster. Well, with the help of a couple straps at least. I think it's gonna be a decent load too. Oh, I know some of you hardcore scrappers are gonna be ticked that I mixed all my metal. But keep in mind, we didn't do this job for the scrap metal. I charged what I needed to on this job. I wasn't gonna make multiple trips just to separate metal. So we made our money. Scrapping the metal was just a bonus. Got the lunch money for the next couple days. They couldn't believe it when I told them there was a silo in there too. Worked out pretty well. 1 trip, that's awesome because it saves us a trip. I bid this as a flat rate, so the least amount of trips we take, the better. All right, so I'm gonna head back out there. We gotta go get those 30 tires and recycle them, but I'm gonna call the video here. You're not missing anything. Besides those tires, I'm gonna haul off a little bit of concrete that we're gonna dump for free. But I'll catch you in the next one. Make sure to hit that subscribe button, y'all. 80% of you are not subscribed to the channel, and when you are, it really does help. We're gonna load up that equipment, get it to the next job site, and I'll see you next time.